Do you feel like you're drowning? Do you? You see, I waited my whole life waiting for someone to save me, drowning over and over again until one day, something in me just woke up. And I realized no one was coming to save me. I had to save myself. Are you ready to save yourself? Are you ready to vibrate to a higher frequency? Are you? Well, stay tuned.
I pray for better life. Now I wake up with a body like I said I might. This a better life, you never tried, I bet it right.
It's time to save yourself and vibrate higher. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Frankie. Before I started working on me and doing any kind of inner work, I had no clue what it meant to vibrate to higher frequency. It just sounded like some kind of foreign language to me. After researching, I still had no clue. So I had to simplify it for myself so that I can understand it to put it into action. So let me just tell you this off the bat. My interpretation may differ, but for me it makes sense, and I'm hoping you can do the same for you guys as well. And I can't stress how important it is that you make time to see you. Saving yourself requires a level of commitment from you to you. Vibrating to a higher frequency opens the door to a world that you've never seen before, or at least I've never seen before. Have you been waiting for someone to save yourself? Be honest. Have you? If the answer is yes, you know that, great. If it's maybe or I don't know, well, don't stress. This video is perfect for you. Today I'll cover what's stopping you from vibrating to a higher frequency, what does it mean to vibrate at a higher frequency, and what you can do to start your journey to vibrating to a higher frequency. Make sure you guys watch this video from beginning to end. Don't forget to like and comment. Engage with me. Let me know if anything that I said in this video resonated with you. So what's stopping you from vibrating to a higher frequency? Okay, well, let's just be honest. Maybe you don't understand what it means and how important it factors into you living your purpose. Now, your purpose could be whatever it means to you, right? Or just living the life that you've always wanted to live. The way that I interpret vibrating to a higher frequency is eliminating blockage from your life. To me, blockage equals static. You know that noise? My block is centered around the many traumas that I experienced throughout my life. You know, I had childhood trauma, friendship trauma, definitely relationship trauma, and more importantly, traumas that I inflicted on myself as a result of how I saw myself. Can you relate to that? You see, all my traumas created the perfect storm, causing me to develop an elevated relationship with my emotions. Think about this for a second. If your emotions are always going up and down, you clearly can't see or understand what's happening for you versus to you. An elevated relationship with yourself does a few things. Here are 5 of them. See if you can relate to any of them. Okay, so elevated relationship with self, number 1. Now, this one keeps you in a triggered state because your emotions are usually volatile. Anything can set you off. Let me give you guys an example. I like examples. Let's say you wake up in the morning, right? Feeling good, you looking good, you slept good too. And you just know it's going to be a good day, right? Then you get on the road, either you're going to work or you're going to school, and you're minding your business, right? And you get ready to merge onto the freeway. You know what I'm getting ready to say. When all of a sudden, you guessed it, that one person won't let you merge. Instantly, you become upset. You start yelling at that driver, maybe even tailgating them. And at a drop of a hat, you went from, oh, it's going to be a good day, to whip that trick. Just that quick. You see how volatile you are? Elevated relationship with self, number 2. This one keeps you in your feelings, and you may feel like the world or people are against you. It causes you to stay in a victim mentality, which rarely allows for you to understand that things are happening for you, not to you. And an example of that would be, I'm sure most of us dealt with this. Someone who you thought was a good friend of yours, and turns out that they were not. They didn't have good intentions for you. They didn't want to see you do well, and they were jealous of you. What you have to understand is this is happening for you, not to you, because the universe is showing you to be careful who you trust because their intentions was not good. But you, in victim mentality, you see it as it always happening to you, asking yourself, why can't I make true friends? Now understand that, now this is my own personal opinion on true friends. You don't need a lot, one's enough. That's just my opinion. Anyway, elevated relationship with self, number 3. You believe that in order to be happy, someone or something needs to save you, and then you'll be happy. Have you ever said, once I make more money, I'll be happy? Or once I lose weight, I'll be happy? You see, putting your happiness on a specific event, time, or possible outcome keeps your path to getting off the elevator unknown. Elevated relationship with self, number 4. This one plays games with you because it causes you to write a narrative about things that aren't necessarily true. You see, when you write a narrative about anything, then you are automatically placing guilt on it. For example, let's say I walk into a room, right, and I see people are talking. Then all of a sudden, as I approach where they are, they stop talking. And then as soon as I walk past them, I hear them burst out into laughter. Automatically, I write a narrative. that they were laughing at me. Why else were they laughing? They were quiet when I approached them. You see, my feelings at that moment are hurt, and at that very second, I don't like them. I'm working off of emotions. I've already made them guilty without even knowing. Elevator relationship with self, number 5. Now this makes you, or can tend to make you, a very sensitive person, and you tend to wear your heart on your sleeve. You often need people to validate you and your feelings. Like, the way you know if this is true about you is if people can see how you feel on your face and you can't hide it. So ask yourself, do you have an elevator relationship with yourself? Did any of these examples resonate with you? Let me know in the comments below. Let's engage. Let me know if you can relate to any of these relationships. Understand this, blockage does so much damage to your frequency that you're walking around in a state of static where you're unable to hear or let the whispers of life guiding you to your purpose because your emotions are constantly going up and down. So what does it mean to vibrate to a higher frequency? Well, understanding what it means to vibrate to a higher frequency is what made me wake up and realize that I had to save myself. This is how I interpreted it. Imagine you're in an ocean, and if you're able to stay afloat, then you can see that nothing is pulling you down or blocking you from hearing what direction the whispers are telling you to go in. Your frequency is open and free of static, so you can see the world more clearly because you are able to stay afloat. Your vibration in this state is high. Now imagine the same exact scenario, but this time, unfortunately, you are unable to stay afloat because of blockage. The blockage will now represent cinder blocks or weights attached to your body. How deep you start to sink will be determined by how much blockage you are holding on to. Sadly, some people hold on to blockage their whole life. And when they finally reach the bottom of the ocean, that's it. Y'all, it's over. You see, those people were waiting for someone to save them, never realizing that they were the only ones who could have saved themselves. Not their spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, parents, or friends. Of course, they can offer them support, but until they themselves realize their true power within, then they will keep waiting for someone else to save them. You don't want to be like them. Blockage is just so dangerous because it keeps your frequency low and your static high, which is why you may engage in toxic behaviors like taking advantage of people and them doing the same to you, seeking external validation from others, being mad or angry at the world, having rage, thriving off of the drama in your life. See, these are all low frequency traits. What can you do to start your journey to vibrating to a higher frequency? Well, the key here is to start tackling them one by one. What's been causing your blockage and keeping you weighted down, sinking further and further into resentment, anger, jealousy, laziness, despair, just to name a few. You see, your elevated relationship with self is toxic, but it does not have to be. In life, we naturally have our emotions go up and down. That's normal. If you're the one that's controlling when you get on and off that elevator. That only happens if your frequency is high. To vibrate to a higher frequency, you have to eliminate blockage, which is really static, so that you can allow for a higher frequency to come in. Once you start tackling the weights and cinder blocks one by one, your frequency starts rising, and one by one, the weights, cinder blocks start to come off, and you start floating up closer and closer to the surface. As you start floating upward, you start to hear the whispers of life guiding you, until one day you're floating at the top of the surface. That moment is the moment that you've done a few things. 1, you stop the elevator and you are now on the top floor. 2, you're dealing with the blockage and the static is now a faint sound. 3, you saved yourself from a fate that you finally realized that you had the power within to control all along. Damn, that feels good, right? Today I covered what's stopping you, blockage. More importantly, I covered 5 main elevator relationships with self that may be causing your frequency to stay low. 1, being in a triggered state. 2, staying in victim mentality. 3, placing your happiness on a future possible situation or outcome that may or may not happen. 4, writing a narrative and placing automatic guilt without facts, only emotion. 5, being sensitive and needing others to validate you. Saving yourself so you can vibrate to a higher frequency is never an easy thing to do. You have to commit to you for you. Once you face one thing, you start to realize there are other things that come up along the process that has been weighing you down. And at times it can feel overwhelming. At least it did for me. It's not easy, but if you put in the work now, you will start to develop a certain skill set that will allow for you to handle anything that comes today, tomorrow, or in the future a lot easier without lowering your frequency. Remember, all the steps you take today is setting your future self up to win. Are you ready to start vibrating higher? If yes, then my first video is a great starting point if you want to learn how to tackle what's been weighing you down. I highly recommend you go and check it out, and I'll add a click here. In that video, I do go over 4 steps how I dealt with some childhood trauma that really was just holding me down, that really allowed for me to work through my other traumas that I mentioned in this video. You guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Let's engage. Let me know if you guys like this kind of content. All right, check you guys out later. Peace.